Welcome to Worldview Club, where we explore the hidden stories that shape our world. Today we uncover the extraordinary journey of gold, from its birth in the heart of dying stars to its timeless role in human civilization. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next story. Now let's begin the journey. The origin of gold, a visitor from the cosmos. Each day we come to understand a little more about the world around us. Today let us explore the extraordinary story of gold, a journey that stretches far beyond the earth beneath our feet. Why can't humanity simply create more gold through chemical reactions? The answer takes us out into space, to the very birthplace of the stars. Here is a fact that may surprise you. Gold was not born on Earth. It is a cosmic visitor, forged in the hearts of dying stars and cast across the galaxy by supernova explosions before falling to our planet billions of years ago. In truth, gold does not belong to this world. It is a gift the universe bestowed upon the Earth. How was gold created in the universe? The universe began with a single event, the Big Bang. From that primordial sea of energy, only hydrogen appeared, along with a trace of helium and lithium. There were no rocks, no heavy metals, and certainly no gold. Over time, under the pull of gravity, vast clouds of gas collapsed, giving birth to the first stars. In their cores, hydrogen fused into helium through nuclear fusion, releasing immense energy. This process gradually produced new elements such as carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen, the fundamental building blocks of life. When hydrogen fuel was exhausted, pressure and temperature in stellar cores rose. Fusion reactions then created heavier elements such as silicon, aluminum, and iron. But here the process came to a halt. Even the most massive stars could not forge nuclei heavier than iron. Gold, along with other super-heavy elements, required a far more violent mechanism. That mechanism emerged when massive stars ended their lives in supernova explosions. In a fraction of a second, the blast unleashed torrents of neutrons and colossal energy, conditions sufficient to forge the super-heavy elements, including gold. Yet modern astronomical evidence reveals that most of the gold in the universe did not come from supernovae, but from rarer events, the collision of two neutron stars. Neutron stars are the remnants of massive stars that once exploded. Though each contains 1.4 to 2.5 times the mass of the Sun, they measure only about 20 kilometers across. Their matter is so dense that a single teaspoon would weigh millions, even hundreds of millions, of tons. When two neutron stars merge, they unleash a kilonova, one of the most powerful energy events ever observed in the cosmos. Within this colossal forge, lighter nuclei are compressed together, forming super-heavy elements. Gold, platinum, and uranium are born from such cataclysms. From these violent cosmic events, gold was cast into space, dispersed across galaxies, and a tiny fraction of it eventually became part of the Earth, the planet we call home today. How did gold arrive on Earth? After being forged in supernova explosions and neutron star collisions, gold spread throughout the cosmos. A fraction of it was carried to Earth by metal-rich asteroids during the late heavy bombardment, around 4 billion years ago, a period when our young planet endured intense and repeated collisions from space. Yet in Earth's earliest days, when the planet was still molten, most heavy elements, including gold, quickly sank into the core through the process of differentiation. As a result, the amount of gold remaining in the crust is extremely limited. Today, scientists estimate that as much as 20 million tons of gold may lie dissolved in the world's oceans, though the cost and technology required make this resource practically inaccessible. Within Earth's crust, at depths of about 1 kilometer, the total accessible reserve is thought to be only about 1 million tons. And throughout the entirety of human history, we have extracted merely 200,000 tons, a tiny fraction of what lies hidden. On the surface, the gold we find is largely brought up by volcanic eruptions or forced upward through tectonic fractures. For this reason, geologically unstable regions prone to seismic activity often host the richest deposits. Among the most renowned are Johannesburg in South Africa and Kolar in India, two of the world's most famous gold mines. Can humans create artificial gold? The desire to turn ordinary metals into gold has existed for thousands of years, long before humanity understood the true nature of the atom. Ancient alchemists experimented with countless chemical reactions in their quest to make gold. Yet chemistry can only alter how atoms bond with one another. It cannot change the atomic nucleus, the very place that defines gold as gold. Scientifically, a gold atom contains 79 protons. Mercury has 80 protons. In theory, removing one would yield gold. Platinum with 78 protons could become gold by adding one. It sounds simple, but in reality the process is extraordinarily complex. To alter the number of protons, humans must employ the most advanced tools, particle accelerators or nuclear reactors. By bombarding atomic nuclei with neutrons, scientists can transform one element into another. Indeed, experiments have succeeded in producing trace amounts of artificial gold, but the results are limited. The gold created is often unstable, prone to radioactive decay, and in some cases dangerously radioactive. Even more decisive is the cost. Operating a particle accelerator to create a few atoms of gold is millions of times more expensive than the value of the gold itself. Put simply, it is like spending a fortune to build a printing press that produces just a single coin every hour and carries the risk of lethal radiation. In theory, humanity can create gold. In practice, the process is both hazardous and uneconomical, making the artificial production of gold entirely unviable. And so, gold retains its status as a rare and precious metal, just as it has throughout the whole of human history. Why is gold so rare? Gold is one of the most remarkable metals found in nature. It is the most malleable of all metals, capable of being hammered into sheets so thin they are nearly transparent, and easily shaped into countless forms. Gold is also virtually immune to oxidation and corrosion, resisting even most acids under normal conditions. With its exceptionally high density and melting point of 1064 degrees C6, gold is durable, resistant to deformation, and nearly immortal in the natural environment. These qualities make gold an ideal material, widely used in jewelry, medicine, electronics, and art. Yet its value does not rest solely on utility, but on its rarity. According to geological studies, most of Earth's gold sank into the planet's core during its early molten state. Some scientific models estimate that the core may contain tens of trillions of tons of gold, though such figures remain theoretical, since it is impossible to measure or extract directly. In Earth's crust, where humans can reach, the total reserve is estimated at only 50-60 million tons. Yet, due to technological and economic limitations, humanity has so far mined only about 200,000 tons, a minuscule fraction compared to the planet's hidden abundance. From a philosophical perspective, the rarer and more difficult something is to obtain, the more precious it becomes. Gold exemplifies this principle. Humanity has been able to create synthetic diamonds since 1953, yet every attempt to produce gold artificially has proven economically and technologically unfeasible. For this reason, gold has retained its status as a rare and precious metal, revered and cherished by human civilization for thousands of years. The history of gold in the economy. Since antiquity, gold has been more than a symbol of power. It has also served as a medium of exchange. In China, under the Qin dynasty, gold was cast into coins for trade and commerce. In the Mediterranean, the Lydians, a small kingdom in Asia Minor, are credited with producing the first standardized metal coins in the 7th century BCE, in which gold and electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver, played a central role. This demonstrates that from very early on, humanity recognized the intrinsic value and stability of gold, choosing it as a measure of wealth and labor. Over the centuries, gold became the foundation of long-distance trade, from the Silk Road linking Asia and Europe to the Islamic empires and medieval Europe. Gold was widely accepted as a universal unit of value. In many societies, a nation's gold reserves determined its prestige and strength. By the 19th century, gold was embedded in a new global mechanism, the gold standard. Britain led the way, pegging the value of the pound to a fixed quantity of gold in 1821. Soon after, many nations followed, establishing gold as the universal benchmark for international commerce and finance. Under this system, the amount of money a government could issue was strictly tied to its gold reserves. This created stability in exchange rates, restrained inflation, and reinforced trust in national currencies. During its golden age, the gold standard fueled the growth of global trade and cemented gold's role as the common language of the world economy. Yet such rigid dependence on gold also revealed its flaws. When nations needed to expand the money supply to finance World War I, the system became constraining. By the Great Depression of 1929-1933, economic pressures forced many countries to abandon it. Finally, in 1971, U.S. President Richard Nixon ended the convertibility of the dollar into gold, officially closing the chapter on the gold standard and ushering in the era of fiat money. Why gold is no longer a primary medium of exchange. Beyond the reasons already mentioned, several limitations prevent gold from continuing as a principal means of payment. 1. Difficult to divide and transport. Gold is inconvenient to break down into small denominations and not easily carried for everyday transactions. 2. Less liquid than currency. The price of gold fluctuates sharply with geopolitical events, while currency remains more practical and stable in circulation. For these reasons, fiat money has become the dominant medium of exchange in the modern world, while gold has been relegated to the roles of reserve asset and investment instrument. The benefits of holding gold. Throughout history's many upheavals, gold has retained its role as one of the most favored investment assets. Its enduring appeal rests on 3 core characteristics. 1. High liquidity. Gold can be readily converted into cash in nearly every country. Whether in Asia, Europe, or the Americas, it is universally recognized as a store of value. This global acceptance allows investors to minimize the risk of devaluation when moving capital across borders. 2. Broad accessibility. Unlike real estate or many other investment channels, gold can be bought and sold in small units. Even investors with modest capital can accumulate gold over time. 3. Preservation of purchasing power. During periods of instability, rising inflation, stock market downturns, or a frozen real estate sector, gold typically holds its value and at times even increases. This enables investors to safeguard their assets, maintain purchasing power, and cushion the negative effects of economic cycles. Compared with other channels, stocks and cryptocurrencies can plunge dramatically in response to sudden shifts in capital flows. Bank savings are safer, but their real value depends heavily on the balance between interest rates and inflation. If inflation exceeds rates, deposits lose purchasing power. For these reasons, many financial experts recommend that gold form a share of any long-term portfolio. Gold not only diversifies asset holdings, but also acts as a defensive shield that reduces overall risk. Why rising gold prices signal economic distress. Throughout history, gold has been regarded as a safe haven asset, It preserves value during turbulent times, but at the same time reflects the weakening of other investment channels. When gold prices surge, it is not a sign of prosperity, but more often a warning of looming risk. When households and financial institutions shift capital into gold, money is withdrawn from production and investment, leaving other sectors short of funds and slowing growth. For this reason, in the eyes of economists, gold does not create economic momentum. Instead, it serves as a barometer of anxiety in global markets. There are three main reasons why rising gold prices are often seen as a troubling signal. 1. Geopolitical risk. Gold prices are closely linked to international tensions. In May 2024, following a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping, gold prices surged past $2,150 per ounce, a record high fueled by concerns over a political and economic alliance countering the United States. Earlier, the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza had also contributed to gold's climb. After Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, the US and Europe imposed sweeping financial sanctions, cutting major Russian banks off from the SWIFT global payment system. To reduce reliance on the US dollar, the Russian central bank purchased an additional 100 tons of gold in the first quarter of 2022, raising total reserves to about 2,300 tons, valued at roughly $140 billion. 2. De-dollarization strategies. China and several emerging economies have accelerated gold purchases to diversify their foreign exchange reserves. In 2023, the People's Bank of China bought 225 tons of gold and added another 22 tons in just the first 2 months of 2024. This trend has fueled demand and driven prices higher. 3. Global economic impact. When governments and central banks increase gold reserves, the broader economic picture is often bleak. Trade slows, goods pile up, currencies lose value, and inflationary pressures intensify. For this reason, a sustained rise in gold prices is widely interpreted by economists not as a sign of sustainable growth, but as a signal of global instability. The underlying reason is clear. When capital flows into gold, it reflects a lack of confidence in other investments, and that in turn points to weaker economic prospects. Gold, the US dollar, and interest rates. On global markets, gold is priced in US dollars, USD. As a result, fluctuations in the dollar have a direct impact on the price of gold. When the USD strengthens, gold becomes more expensive for investors holding other currencies, reducing demand and pushing prices down. Conversely, when the USD weakens, gold becomes cheaper, demand rises, and prices climb. In macroeconomics, a strong dollar is often viewed as a positive signal for the global economy. Market confidence is stable and purchasing power is preserved. By contrast, when gold prices rise sharply, they often reflect a decline in currency value and heightened fears of instability. The relationship between gold and interest rates is also inverse. When interest rates rise, capital tends to flow into bonds and savings accounts to capture higher yields, making gold less attractive. When interest rates fall, the value of money erodes and gold emerges as a safe haven asset. For this reason, in many cases, rising gold prices are closely tied to inflationary pressures. Gold, a cosmic gift, forged in the most violent events of the universe, yet cherished by humanity for thousands of years. Its story is far from over, and its legacy continues to shape our world today. Thank you for watching Worldview Club. If you found this journey insightful, please like, subscribe, and share, so together we can keep exploring the stories that matter. Thanks you.